we focused mainly in our last lesson on the differences between the first and the second. Actually, we talked about the second conditional and we compared it with the first conditional. So if you remember in this lesson, what would you do? All of this was about the second conditional, how we use the second conditional. And but before that, of course, we talked about the first conditional. So here in this lesson, they showed us how to use the second conditional, but they also wanted us to pay attention to the difference between the between the first conditional and the second conditional. So this was one of the important points also in the lesson. So in our last lesson, we started with computer vocabulary. We talked about all of these words. I think maybe only 2 or 3 words maybe were not new to you. So we talked about those, like, for example, attachment. We talked about backup. What else? But the rest of it, I think you had no problem with the other words. So I think we just talked a little bit about backup and attachment, what they mean. And after that, we listened to 3 people who have 3 different jobs, but they all depend on the internet. One of them was Judy, the computer director, who sells her calendars and does her business online. And then we also listened to Wesley's story, because Wesley is a cafe owner. And of course, it's very important for him to have an internet connection for his clients and the people who sit in his cafe. So he also talked about that. And finally, we listened to Frank, who's a sales manager. He also talked about how important the internet is. And he does most of his meetings nowadays online, his video meetings. And of course, he misses traveling, as far as I remember. I think we also talked about the rules here of using the second conditional. We agreed that the second conditional is used for imaginary situations, unlike the first conditional, because the first conditional is it talks more about realistic situations, but with the second conditions, it talks about imaginary situations. And the second thing is the second conditional also talks about something which is in the present and future. It's not in the past. So this is the second thing you need to keep in mind. And we agreed that in the if clause, we use past simple. And in the main clause, we use would plus infinitive. Would plus infinitive, wouldn't plus infinitive. It's the same, positive or negative. And then we talked about these 2 examples, which are a very nice example that clearly shows the difference between the first and the second conditional. Because in example A, if I have enough money, I'll buy a new laptop. Now, this is an example in the first conditional. This is a realistic example. There's a real possibility the person speaking in sentence A will or might buy the laptop. He just needs to get money. If I have enough money, I'll buy the laptop. So maybe there's a bigger chance of this person getting the money, having the money, and buying the laptop. It's realistic. It's a real possibility. But the second person here in part B, in sentence B, if I had enough money, I'd buy a new laptop. This person really doesn't have money. It's unlikely he will get money, but he's just, it's kind of like you're joking. You're saying, if I had money, I'd buy a Lamborghini. You don't really have money for a Lamborghini. So you're just talking about something completely imaginary. If you had money, you would buy a Lamborghini. But, so this is the idea. But in Arabic, how do we say sentence A and how do we say sentence B? If we wanted to translate them, how would we say them? What do you think? Who can make a guess here? Sentence A first conditional and sentence B second conditional. What do you think?
الأولى نقول له مثلا لما يبدأ عندي فلوس حنشري لابتوب، ولا لو عندي فلوس حنشري. لكن الثانية نقولها مثلا كان عندي فلوس راح شريت.
Exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly how I would translate it. بالضبط هي الفكرة. يعني الثاني بعيد الموضوع شوية زي ما قالت هاجر بالضبط. كان عندي راني شريت. كان عندي وقت راني قريت. It's a bit like this. Kind of like this. This is the second conditional, so always there's always a slight element of imagination. It's it's not a real situation. You don't have money and you probably won't buy the laptop. هي دي الفكرة. So this is an important thing to keep in mind. So we talked about this, and after that we even did this exercise here in number 5. We did it and I remember all of you answered it correctly. And this isn't a very hard exercise, to be honest, because you just need to follow the rule. And the rule is if you have the if clause, use past simple, main clause, would plus infinitive. That's all you need to follow actually in this exercise. So we did it, we completed it, and we talked about, there was a nice sentence, Hajar, that you missed. Where was it? Yeah, this one, number 3. So number 3, Sana answered, she said, if I could change places with one person in the world, I would choose Malak. This is what she said. I thought it was a beautiful sentence. But I just wanted to tell you, Hajar, that she didn't say, if I could choose places with one person, I would choose Hajar. She chose Malak. Now I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But I just thought I should let you know, that's all. That's what she said.
No, but she deserved it, Malak.
Yeah, maybe.
Because she is a quiet person.
But I just felt,
I think she's lovely.
I felt it's unfair because you weren't here, so I thought someone had to inform you. That's what. Okay, so we did that. We practiced these examples. So they weren't very hard. I think, like I said, they actually did them. All of them did them correctly without any problem. We got to this part. Again, we have another example. If I have time, I'll help you. If I had time, I'd help you. You know, it's exactly the same idea, just like Hajar explained it earlier with the other two. It's the same idea. If I have time, I'll help you. So this person, there's a big chance he'll have time soon. Maybe he's just busy now, just finish whatever he's doing, and then he'll help you, okay? If I have time, I'll help you. But this one, if I had time, I'd help you. It means, I don't have time. So this means I'm not going to help you. So, it's a kind of a trick sentence. كان عندي وقت راني ساعدتك. راهو نساعدك. But, ما عندكش وقت انت. So this is kind of important. Now, this part, we didn't do part B yet. So in part B, it says, listen to 6 pairs of sentences. Which do you hear first, the first conditional or the second conditional? Okay, so in part B here in the listening, we are going to hear 6 pairs of sentences, okay? So in each pair, you're gonna hear both the first conditional and the second conditional, but the thing is, the order, it's going to change. Sometimes you'll hear the first conditional first, sometimes you'll hear the second conditional first. So our job is just to say which one you hear first. If you hear the first conditional first, just say first conditional. If you hear the second conditional first, say second conditional. That's the idea. So let me play it for you. Here it is. Okay, let me go to the listening. CD2, track 20. Okay, here we go.
Track 20. 1.
If I have enough money, I'll buy a new laptop. If I had enough money, I'd buy a new laptop.
Okay.
The first one is a first conditional, and
Yes.
the second one is a second.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
2.
If you opened that attachment, it'd crash your computer. If you open that attachment, it'll crash your computer.
I didn't hear it very
Yeah, me too.
No worries, don't worry. Let's listen to number 3 and the rest of them, and then because we're going to go back from the start again, so don't worry. If you miss one of them, don't worry. Let's hear the third one now.
3.
I'd give you a lift if I had time. I'll give you a lift if I have time.
First one, second condition.
Correct.
Yes,
second condition.
yes, second condition, yeah.
That's right.
4.
You'll see them if you get there early. You'd see them if you got there early.
The first one is the first conditional.
That's right. First one is first.
Wallahi, I don't catch them.
That's all right. We'll listen again. Don't worry, Sana.
Okay.
5.
If they study harder, they'll pass their exams. If they studied harder, they'd pass their exams.
Not sure also.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this means number 2 and number 5. We need to listen carefully next time. Okay, let's listen to 6
And 4.
and 4.
6.
If we moved house, we'd miss our friends. If we move house, we'll miss our friends.
First one, second condition.
That's right.
Second condition.
Yeah, the second conditional
Because
was the first.
Yes, because I hear the second sentence is first condition.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, so let's listen one more time.
Track 20. 1.
If I have enough money, I'll buy a new laptop. If I had enough money, I'd buy a new laptop.
2.
If you opened that attachment, it'd crash your computer. If you open that attachment, it'll crash your computer.
Let's go back again. Let's listen again. Number 2.
Yes.
2.
If you opened that attachment, it'd crash your computer. If you open that attachment, it'll crash your computer.
I think the second one is the first conditional.
Correct.
But the sound is not very clear, or maybe.
Yes.
No, she is talking very fast. That's why.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I can increase the volume a bit. Let's see, because maybe let's hear it one more time. And I'm going to stop after the first sentence to give you a chance to think about it.
Honey, I'd buy a new laptop.
اللي بعدها.
2,
If you opened that attachment, it'd crash your computer.
What did she say? If you
If you open data.
Open.
opened, past simple, opened. If
Okay.
you opened that attachment,
Open data.
it'd, which means it would,
Attachment.
it would crash.
It would crash.
Yeah,
your
لكن هي
laptop.
ما قالتش it would, it'd استعملت
it'd, yeah.
contraction. It'd crash your computer. Now حتقول تو ال first condition حتكون بال present simple. If you open that attachment, it will, يعني it'll اختصرتها, it will, contraction it'll crash your computer. So let's hear the first conditional توا.
If you open that attachment, it'll crash your computer.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's check number 3, 4.
3,
I'd give you a lift if I had time. I'll give you a lift if I have time.
4,
You'll see them if you get there early. You'd see them if you got there early.
سنة.
The second one is first conditional. The second.
Let's listen again. Let's listen again.
4,
You'll see them if you get there early.
What did you hear, Sana?
You will see him if you yes.
Correct, صح?
If you I forget
But
you will see him if you woke up early.
get there early.
Yeah.
بس حتى لو ما سمعتيش الطرف الثاني راه ما يهمش، المهم انت كان سمعتي الويل خلاص هذه first conditional.
Yeah.
So this means the second one is second conditional. The first one is first conditional. Now listen to the second condition. كيف حيستعمل would بدل will.
You'd see them if you got there early.
You'd see them. You would. You'd see them if you got, past simple. If you got there early, you'd see them. Okay. Now number 5.
5,
If they study harder, they'll pass their exams. If they studied harder, they'd pass their exams.
Studied.
I think the first, the second condition.
Second condition, yes. The first one, second condition.
No, I think that's correct, but let's listen one more time.
5,
Okay.
If they study harder, they'll pass their exams. If they studied harder, they'd pass their exams.
So what did you hear?
Yes, if you study harder, they would pass their exam.
Is this the first or the second?
The second.
Second.
Yes. So أما conditional سمعتها الأولى. First conditional ولا second conditional?
Second condition.
First condition.
It's actually the first conditional was first.
Yeah.
The first condition, yeah.
Yeah, because let's listen to it, but this time خلنا نوقفوا بعد النص الأول.
5,
If they study harder, they'll pass their exams.
Yeah.
If they study harder, they'll
pass
will.
the exam.
They'll pass the exam. They'll pass the exam. But شوفوا الثانية اللي بالsecond condition كيف يطلع صوتها.
If they studied harder, they'd pass their exams.
اللي هي if they had لكن بالcontraction بتولي they'd. If they'd studied harder, they'd pass the exam. Those contraction. They had الأولى أصبحت they'd, with they would الثانية أصبحت they'd. If they'd studied harder, they'd pass the exam. So that's why هذا ليش ديما مشددين في الاكسرسايزز يبوكم تتعودوا على الكونتراكشنز. أنا بدي بيكم ما عادش تقولوا I have, I would, I will، ما عادش تقولوها بكل. مش خطأ هي صح،
Yes.
لكن مش حتسمعها في اللغة الحية، مش حتمر عليكم. فالأفضل
حتى مفروض نديروا حتى براكتس، مش اللي نحن بنسمعوا هلبا كيف يدوا هم كيف
بالضبط.
اللي هي يعني الكلام هذا اللي لاصق في بعضه.
هي هذه فكرة الأغلب التمارين الصوتية والليسننج يعطوك فيها بالطريقة العامية الشائعة اللي حتسمعها أكثر في تعاملكم معهم. فهذا ليش أهم أنكم حتى في التعود سواء في السمع أو سواء في النطق نعود روحنا ديما بالكونتراكشن أحسن. يعني I've you know I'd go بدل I would go, I'd like بدل I would like وهكذا. Okay, now last one أعتقد number 6.
6.
If we moved house, we'd miss our friends. If we move house, we'll miss our friends.
Yes, Tanya will.
Yes,
Yeah,
the first one,
Yes.
second condition.
second yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
يعني الثانية واضح فيها will.
Well, yes.
Exactly right. Okay, so now you know how the first and second conditional they sound different and they mean different things. هي هذه النقطة اللي نبغى نوصلوا لها سواء في pronunciation متاعها أو في المعنى. There is a difference. They're not the same. They might be a bit confusing, but you know they're two different things. هي هذه الفكرة. So now we have a nice exercise number 8. In this exercise, it says choose the correct words in these conversations. So this is a question where you have to choose first or second conditional. How do you do that? It depends on the meaning. Do you get the idea? So the meaning or the context of the sentence is going to help you. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. Take your time and complete these two conversations. We have conversation 1 and conversation 2. And when you're done and ready, we can check them together and then we can listen to see if your answers are all right. So take a few minutes and try to do this. Anybody ready? Malak, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sana, also, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, everyone's ready. That's excellent. Okay, let's see. Let's see which answers you chose, and also let's see how different or similar. Okay, let's do it in pairs. So Sana, you can be Pete, and Hajar, you can be Judy, and you can see the answers you chose.
Okay. Oh dear, I will never finish these t-shirts by 5 o'clock.
Sorry. I'd help you if I don't have all these calendars to do.
Continue, Pete.
Okay. If Megan was here, she could do some of them, but she's still on holiday.
Well, don't worry. If you didn't finish them, I will email the customer and explain.
For me, I have a different answer with Hajar.
Okay, let's see your answers. Let's use the blue color for your answers. Which ones are
Yes.
different for you,
I
Sana?
put it, I will, and I don't.
Okay, and the other ones?
This is my answer already.
And
I don't know if someone else have another answer.
But what about the other one, Judy?
Yes, Judy, I put it if you don't.
And
I would.
okay.
No. And the last one, the same answer.
Okay.
Don't, I will. Yeah. Don't, honey. If you don't, I will.
And number 3 and 4 the same. This is your answer.
Yeah.
So let's use blue from the beginning because it's yours. Okay, what about your answers, Malak?
Okay. Like I'd help you if
like blue, like blue or
like
red?
red.
Okay. And don't or didn't?
If I don't.
Okay, so all of you have don't. Okay, what about the next one?
If Megan was here, yes, blue. It's right.
I don't know if it's right or not, but
she could do some of them.
okay.
Yes.
And in the last sentence?
Well, don't worry. If you if you don't finish them, I'll email the customer and explain.
Okay. Hajar, do you want to make any changes to the sentences that aren't yours? Do you think you need to change anything? Or
No.
no? Okay. The good thing is there are different answers, so this means one of you has to be wrong. Okay, now number 2. Let's try Sana and let's try Hajar and Malak.
Okay.
So Malak, you can be Frank, and Hajar can be Ruth.
What time's my online meeting with the sales reps?
It's at 3:30, but brain emailed to say that he might not be able to do it if he missed the meeting. If he misses the meeting, I will ask him to call you tomorrow.
Great, thanks. And can you help me back up this documents online? I wouldn't ask if I knew how to do it, but I'm useless at this kind of thing.
Yes, of course. If you give me your laptop, I do it now.
Okay. Malak, Sana, do you want to change anything? Do you have different answers?
I only the last one. I will.
Okay. Just the last one. Any other ones you want to change?
No, it's the same answer here.
Okay, so what should we give the person who answers correctly, and what should we take from the people who answered wrong answers? What do you think? I think for those who answered correctly, chocolate is always good, but I'm trying to think of something else. But I can think of punishments better than rewards. So, but let's listen. Let's find out.
Okay.
And let's see which ones are correct.
Track 21. 1.
Oh dear, I'll never finish these t-shirts by 5 o'clock.
Sorry, I'd help you if I didn't have all these calendars to do.
If Megan was here, she could do some of them, but she's still on holiday.
Well, don't worry. If you don't finish them, I'll email the customer and explain.
2.
What time's my online meeting with the sales reps?
It's at 3:30, but Brian emailed to say that he might not be able to do it. If he misses the meeting, I'll ask him to call you tomorrow.
Great, thanks. And can you help me back up these documents online? I wouldn't ask if I knew how to do it, but I'm useless at this kind of thing.
Yes, of course. If you give me your laptop, I'll do it now.
If you repeat the first paragraph.
Yes,
First one.
Let's do it. Let's repeat the first one and,
Track 21.
and talk about it.
1.
Okay.
Oh dear, I'll never finish these t-shirts by 5 o'clock.
Sorry, I'd help you if I didn't have all these calendars to do.
So, what did she say? I'd help you.
I'd, yes.
Yes, I'd.
But why? Why did she say that? I'd help you if I
Don't
have all
didn't.
these
If I didn't. I'd
No,
help
don't.
you if I didn't.
No, she said don't.
didn't.
Let's
Yes,
listen.
I hear it. Don't.
This is
Track
No,
21.
sure, don't.
1.
Yes.
Oh dear, I'll never finish these t-shirts by 5 o'clock.
Sorry, I'd help you if I didn't have all these calendars to do.
Didn't, yeah.
Can we use the present simple with would? I mean, in the second
No,
conditional,
no.
do we have present simple?
No.
No. Yes, not the present simple. But
Past
I,
simple.
yeah. But I, from the beginning, I thought it's first condition, not second.
But why is it second?
That's why I surprised.
Because it's like it's like what we say as a compliment or
يعني من الأخير فوتني مش حنساعدك راه انسى الموضوع سكرته له يعني
بالضبط.
ما هذا علاش أنا نحسبها second condition حاجة imagination. فلكن هذه حاجة true يعني قدامها في عندك الليندر وما يقدرش يساعده يعني. فهذا علاش أنا
لا هي
لأن عندك
هي
الليندر
تقول
مش حيقدر
زي
يساعد.
هي زي المجاملة، قالت له لو عندي قيت راني ساعدتك، هيك مجاملة فقط.
exactly هو اصلا ما طلبش هو اصلا مساعده، هي غير جامل فيه، هو ما حتى ما طلبش منها. لو if you check the first sentence oh dear I'll never finish these t-shirts by 5 o'clock، فهي اللي جاملتها قلت لها بودي يعني نساعدك لكن ما فيش كيف، عندي حتى أنا باش لاهيه. It's a bit like this. So we need the second.
نحسبها تتكلم، نحسبها يعني على يعني كسيتويشن هي، وان هي تخدم في الكالندر قدامها معناها واضح يعني حاجة حقيقة يعني.
هي أعطتها السبب. أعطتها السبب why she can't do. Okay, now let's check the second situation.
If Megan was here, she could do some of them, but she's still on holiday.
Well, don't worry. If you don't finish them, I'll email the customer and explain.
Okay.
نفس النقطة هنا، ما نقدروش نستعملوا الباست simple، يعني ما نقدروش نخلطوا بيناتهم. لو استعملتوا I'll أنا ضروري ما نستعملوا present simple.
Yes, don't.
يعني first conditional بالضبط. If you don't finish them I'll email the customer. اوكي، معناته نبغى نشوفوا شنو اللي يخلينا نمشوا مع الفيرست conditional وشنو اللي حيخلينا نمشوا مع السكند. This is important. القصة مش حتى قصة imaginary ولا real، هي القصة أن تشوفها كموضوع إحصاء، موضوع احتمالات، موضوع statistics يعني probability. لو probability للشيء عالي أن احتمال كبير يصير الشيء هذا، والشيء هذا في المستقبل أو في الحاضر يعني مهمش، في الغالب حنمشوا بالفيرست conditional. لو احتمالية الشيء كبير، يعني زي المثال هذا الأخير، هو اشكالها انه ما يقدرش يكمل التيشيرت بتاعه، شغله في التيشيرت صح؟ فقلت له well don't worry if you don't finish them I'll email the customer and explain. لأن احتمالية انه ما يكملهمش عالية. It's a real possibility. احتمال كبير يصير هذا السيناريو انه هو ما يكملش قبل موعد التسليم. دي قد idea. فالpossibility كبيرة حقيقية، possibility الاحتمال كبير هذا اللي حيكمل اليوم بالشكل هذا، انه هو مش حيلاحق يجهز التيشيرتات، فنضطر نستعمل first conditional في السيتويشن هذا. لكن في الموقف الأول لما قلت له I'd help you if I didn't have all these calendars، يعني كان يعني فاضية راني ساعدتك، معناها مش حنقدر نساعدك، وبدأت بسوري. فالسوري هذه التذكير أنه مش حنساعدك يعني. بعدين أعطيتها السبب. الثانية واضح الموضوع أنه هو imaginary، لأن هي قاعدة في الهوليداي، مش حتكون هنا. مستحيل كيف بتكون هنا وهي في الهوليداي قاعدة، مش حتكون right. فهذا الشيء يعني أغلب كلكم جاوبتها صح لأنه واضح من السياق. فمهم نضبط الموضوع، شنو احتمال الشيء هذا يصير. لو كبير نمشوا مع الفيرست كونديشن، لو الشيء هذا يعني مجاملة أو حاجة مش حتصير من الأخير نمشوا مع السكند. It's a bit like this. Now let's listen to the second part. Let's check.
Okay.
2.
What time's my online meeting with the sales reps?
It's at 3:30, but Brian emailed to say that he might not be able to do it. If he misses the meeting, I'll ask him to call you tomorrow.
Great, thanks. And can you help me back up these documents online? I wouldn't ask if I knew how to do it, but I'm useless at this kind of thing.
Yes, of course. If you give me your laptop, I'll do it now.
Yeah, all of it is correct except the last one.
Yeah.
لأن ما دام عندنا present simple، ما دام مشينا مع first conditional، ما نقدرش ندير would، مش حيتمشي الwould لأن الwould بتاع second conditional. We have
إن
to
هي
use
قلت لي
will.
أعطيهولي توا، يعني كان بتديره له توا، فاحتماليتها إن هي بتصير، هذا علاش اخترنا الفرست.
بالضبط، زي احتمالية أن براين يوصل مخر، لأن هو اوريدي بعت لهم إيميل قال لهم راهو يا جماعة مرات نتأخر، فاحتمالية أنه هو يفوت الاجتماع، يمشي عليه يعني الاجتماع، احتمالية كبيرة. يعني في الغالب حيصير هذا الموضوع، وهو اوريدي أصلا بعت لهم قال لهم احتمال حنتأخر. So the probability is high. There's a high possibility, a real possibility this situation will happen. If there's a real possibility, هنمشي مع ال first conditional اللي هو present simple will في main clause. لكن السيتويشن الثاني يعني يدعو على شيء غير حقيقي. هو لما قالها I wouldn't ask you if I knew how to do it, but he doesn't know how to do it. هو وضح لي موقفه، قالها I'm useless at this kind of thing. هو معترف انه هو ما يعرفش يشتغل على الكمبيوتر. دي the idea. يعني كأنه قالها كان ينعرف اني ما سألتكش. right؟ غير هم طبعا احنا طريقتنا في اللهجة الليبية عدوانية، يعني كان نعرف اني ما سألتكش، يعني هذه فيها لوم وفيها ذنب وفيها بيركب عليك حق. لكن في الإنجليزية مش نفس ما فيهاش الواقع العدواني هذا اللي جاي معها لما تترجم يعني. بس المعنى نفسه، يعني كان ينعرف راني ما تعبتكش، راني ما ضايقتكش، راني ما سألتكش، زي كأنك يقول. Alright, so this is the idea of when to use the first conditional, when to use the second. You need to understand the context. It's quite important. Alright, let's take a look at our next.
Only the first one confused me.
Yeah.
First sentence here.
لما قالها I'd help you if I didn't have all these calendars.
Yeah,
طبعا هنا calendars يمكن لخبطتك قصة calendars بس، لكن هي نقدر نديرها حتى I would help you if I didn't have a lot of work, if I didn't have all this work to do. يعني غير هو مثال عشوائي يعني calendars، بس تقدر تستبدلها ب work. I'd help you if I didn't have a lot of work to do.
زي المثالين اللي فوق متاع if I have a time.
بالضبط.
I will help you if I have a time. زيهم.
بالضبط. الشخص الأول يقول لك if I have time، يعني شوية ويفضى لك، في احتمال كبير حيفضى وحيلها بيك. لكن الثاني اللي يقول لك if I had time مش حيحصل وقت هذا مش حيفضى لك أصلا ولا حيساعدك، لأن هو مش عندش وقت، ما عندش وقت ليك أصلا. If I had time, you know, this is the idea. So, in my opinion, I think the meaning of the first and the second condition is more important than the grammar.
Yes.
As long as you know when to use this, when to use the other, that's, I think, important. I think we can skip this in the next exercise. Let's skip it, because these are similar to the exercises you have in your workbook, and we're a little short on time. So, all right, let's take a look at our next topic here, social networking. So, in this article or in this lesson, we're going to focus mainly on vocab. So, no grammar here. We're going to talk mainly about vocabulary. We're going to talk about a topic which I think, you know, هذا زي السهل الممتع، موضوع سهل لكن مش سهل، مخدع شوية. قصة الارticles a and the and no article. When to use them? When should we put a? When shouldn't we put it? When should we put the? When shouldn't we put it? When should we put no article at all? You know, there are certain situations, and we're going to learn them in this lesson. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about reading, how to read a magazine article, and we'll do some questions together. But first of all, let's start with the vocab. So the topic is about social networking. Excuse me. The topic is about social networking and social media, and of course, this kind of thing. So we're going to start with our first exercise, number 1. They want us to take a look at these sentences and see what they mean. So number one, it says, I'm on a social networking site such as Facebook, Google, or Twitter. I update my status every day. I change my profile quite often. I've downloaded 1 or 2 new apps recently. I sometimes upload videos to websites like YouTube. I sometimes post comments on news sites and forums. I'm on Twitter and I tweet quite often. I also follow some famous people on Twitter. I often share links to interesting websites, blogs, or videos with my friends. So I want you to tell me which of these is true for you, and just tick the ones that are true. Let's start here with 10. From this list, which of these are excuse me, which of these are true for you?
Number true.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I have Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and I have Twitter, and even I have in Telegram nowadays. Because I have I joined another maybe it's not like courses for memorize Quran Kareem. Yeah, by Telegram. Yes.
So this means Facebook, Twitter, and Telegram. Okay, that's nice. Any other of these sentences are true for you, or just number one?
Sometimes, yes, I post a comment in my friends. Number 6. But what are meaning forums?
Forums.
Yes.
A forum is like a website, but a forum is usually like an open topic where you have random comments from all over the world about something specific. So you have, for example, a forum about car problems, or maybe football, about players, about something, and then people comment. A forum زي المنتدى. شبيه بمنتدى. This is the idea. This is the forum.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a bit different from a blog. It's not the same thing. Do you follow any famous people on Twitter?
Famous people on Twitter? No. I just follow the Jazeera channel, English, and BBC, because I want to improve my language. That's why I share this channel. I try to read especially in English nowadays.
That's good. And how do you feel? Do you feel like you're improving? You're able to understand most of the things you read?
Sometimes, yes. When I read the paragraph or something posted, I understand. But sometimes I don't understand anything. Just I leave it and go to another one.
But that's okay. If you go to another one, that's good. As long as you're trying, that's okay.
Because I don't want to give up. Just to see if I understand or no.
That's good. As long as you leave it and go to another one, I think that's the important part.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What about you, Hajar? Which of these things do you do?
Also, the first one, I'm on a social network.
Okay.
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
Okay. Do you update your stats every day on Facebook?
No.
No. Have you downloaded any new apps recently?
Recently, yes.
What have you downloaded?
English score for BBC, for British Council.
Okay.
To know your score. It's online.
That's good. What about Twitter? Do you use Twitter, like Sana?
No, I don't use Twitter, and I don't know how to use it. But I follow some famous people, but not on Twitter. On Instagram and Snapchat.
Okay. Who are some of the famous people you follow on Instagram, for example?
Some of Arabic what the actors?
Actors.
Yes.
Okay, so you mean Arab celebrities?
Bloggers.
Bloggers.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. That's good. Do you share any links with your friends and family if you find something interesting?
Yes.
Do you do that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let's compare what you do with what Malak. What about you, Malak? Tell us a little bit about your social media habits compared to Hajar and Sana.
I'm on social networking sites as Facebook and TikTok. Not a Twitter, no.
Okay.
I don't have a Twitter, yeah. I change my profile quite often.
Okay.
I've downloaded 1 or 2 new apps recently.
Okay.
And I sometimes post comments on news sites and forums. I often share links to interesting websites, blogs, or videos with my friends.
Okay. So you've got kind of different habits. Maybe the things that most of you do is most of you have downloaded something recently. All of you are on social media. 2 of you share links, and only 1 of you is on Twitter. Interesting. Okay, so let's have a little prayer break first for Salah, and after that we can talk a little more about social media, and we can also read this interesting article. I think it's a very interesting article, and I think this topic is also quite important for us now in this age, because keep in mind this book was written in 2013, and it still talked about some of the problems of social media. So imagine now in 2021, I think these problems are maybe even bigger. So it's an important article, I think. All right, so let's have a little break and we'll meet again in a bit, okay?
Okay.
All right, so see you in a bit. Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Okay, so
Hello.
everyone's back. Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our topic. So here we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to talk about social media. So the first question here in the speaking section, it's asking in what ways do social networking sites help people's lives? So here we're we're thinking of the advantages or the positive things or how social media can help us. What do you think? In your opinion, for example, Hajar, do you think social networking sites help people's social lives? Do you think they help?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. They have a bad have the advantages and disadvantages.
Okay, but can you tell me about some advantages in your opinion? Some ways that they help?
Yeah, maybe for people who live in another countries, abroad from their country, so they can contact with their families in easy ways. And it's cheaper than the normal calls, maybe.
True.
Also, yes. Also, you can connect with your friends, even if you didn't met in a long time. Also, you can hear some news.
Okay. So you mentioned communication, the first benefit, and now also news,
yes.
right?
Yes. So it helps, yeah. Somehow it helps. It helps a lot when you use it in a good way. But also it has bad things.
Yeah, like what? Can you think of problems which might be associated with social media? Can you think of some problems?
One of them is news. It's an easy way to use a fake news in a social network.
What do you mean? What do you mean by fake news? Like what?
Now I can post. There's a war in my street, and no one can approve it or not. So yeah.
But where can you post it?
You can. I can post on Facebook, and all the pages copy paste. So it's an easy way to
spread false news or fake news.
Yes.
Okay, so this is one.
It always happen here, especially here. Yes.
You mean here in Libya?
Yes, because people they didn't know the source of the news. It's right or not. Just copy paste. But sometimes it isn't right. So just make people terrified, feel bad, especially at night. They made a lot. Maybe who write this news, maybe someone who's teenagers, just to have fun.
And everyone else believes them.
Yeah, and they make it. They make other people feel bad because some people they obsessed with the news.
True. This is another big problem you
Yeah.
just mentioned. Obsession, right? Being obsessed
Yes.
with social media, with the news. Okay, but what
Yeah.
about, in your opinion, Hajar, what do you think is the effect of social media on, on kids, teenagers, children? Excuse me, not even on adults. What do you think the effect of social media is on these people?
The effect is also it has two things. It's a bad and good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The good one is they learn in an easy way, in a fun way, maybe an easy way. But for the children, especially for the children and teenagers, it's more dangerous because you didn't know who speaks with your child. So for the parents, they should be very careful for their children because anyone can talk to them. There's ad, so there's many problems to children and to teenager.
True. I think you made a great point. Malak and Sanad, do you have any other points to add? Maybe on the good things about social media, or the bad things, or maybe the effect of social media on young people? Any additional points that maybe Hajar didn't mention?
Yes, for the okay. Me or Malak?
You can start. You can start, Sana, and
Okay.
Malak can add her point.
The advantage of the social media now, especially nowadays, we can study by the internet, and this is a good thing.
Education,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
And
it's important thing. I agree.
It's only.
So you wanted to add education, in addition to Hajar mentioned communication, and also news. You mentioned reading about the news.
Even there is some people work at home by make something by hand and sell this things by Facebook, and this is even disadvantage. This is advantage, not disadvantage.
This is an advantage. You mean
Yeah.
if you have some kind of skill, or if you have some kind of product, you can just sell it online. You can promote it on the internet.
Yes, especially in the Facebook, and there is a lot of people nowadays sell their goods by the Facebook.
Yeah, I completely agree. You're
yes,
right.
Even me, I bought bag from Malak and Hajar. No, Eva bag.
Does she have good bags?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a good thing. So this means
but
business.
The bad thing, business. But bad thing for this only the not the goods. It's good, but the still expensive when they want someone to how
to deliver them.
Yes, this is main problem here in Libya.
You think delivery is still expensive?
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about a lot of good points. We talked about communication, information, reading about the news information. You talked about education, and you also talked about business. So we have 4 big advantages of social media, right? Can you think of any disadvantages, Sana, of social media?
Disadvantage, nowadays people don't care about each other when they sit together. Just everyone take their phone and only see their phone, not care about the other. Yes, this is the disadvantage.
So we don't have any face-to-face contact anymore, you're trying to say?
No, even when sit together.
Yeah, everybody's busy checking their phone.
Yes, sometimes in a Friday, for example, in a Friday, all the people go to the grandmother house and meeting there.
Yeah.
And yes, and if you see, especially the teenager, just take the phone and see through the phone, not care about the
about each other.
Yeah. This
okay.
is yeah.
So I think
and
this
that thing.
Yeah. So this excuse me. So this is closer to addiction, I think, right? What you're mentioning, being addicted to social media, not being able to stop using it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other points, Sana, you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. Malak, what do you think? What about the effect of social media and social networking on young people, children, teenagers? What do you think?
Maybe the good thing is to know about the news about your friends. Maybe you don't have time to ask about them, but when you open your Facebook, you know all the news about them. And also the other advantages, to know the news about your city or your town, what happened. You will show that, you will see that on the pages of Facebook.
Okay.
And the disadvantages, I think, and reduce the interact between people.
Less interaction compared to when people didn't have social media.
Yes. Also, maybe media is make the news is very big, not as their size.
You mean sometimes news on social media gets exaggerated.
Yes.
مبالغة في التكبير الحجم الأخبار. Exaggeration المبالغة معناها. Exaggeration. Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of news online, on Facebook pages, gets exaggerated. You know, sometimes it's something small and not important, but then it becomes like big news.
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree. I think I agree with what most of you said. So what you said about this. Sana?
Sometimes when I hear any news, only I open the Facebook and open the pages تك يحرق كل شيء.
Yeah,
and
very
I
big page.
saw that it's I'm not enjoy with this page, but when I want to know anything about the news I hear, I open this page and read, and I know everything about what happened in any situation.
Yeah, because they have all the local news, what's going on, what happened, who killed who bought who, who's
and
wearing.
they immediately put the news.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, they're
I
updated.
Don't know how. Yeah, really. Yeah. In whole Libya, not only here in Tripoli.
True.
The news.
Yeah.
I think, yes.
Because I think maybe they pay the people who bring them news. It must be like a full-time job, someone working, someone paying, someone, you know, It's not,
maybe,
yeah, because you can't do something like that and not get paid because of the time you need. You'll need more than one admin. You'll need people to answer messages. You'll need people to check the messages. It's a bit of a headache.
especially in the last word. If you see any bomb or any something happened,
You'll find it
immediately you find this news and where this happened and which city and which area and
yeah, because I think the public or the people who follow the page, they're the ones who send to the admin. They send him what's going on, and then if the admin gets the same news from more than one person, maybe they know that this is true. It really did happen. Maybe there was a bomb in, I don't know, Triq al-Matar. There was something. There was and so on. It's a bit like this, I think.
Yes, maybe.
Because you're absolutely right. The news, it's you know, it's published there very quickly after it happens, and it's updated, and usually it's true. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Most of the time, what happens is posted accurately.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So there's a lot going on the internet these days. But now we're gonna read this interesting article. Okay. But I just wanted to quickly check these words. I think you already know them, but you know, I just want you to take a look. So we have a collection. I think this is clear. A collection of anything, you know, lonely, loneliness, bullying, and to be addicted to.
Bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain it without using Arabic, Malak? What does bullying mean?
No, I don't know what is it.
Okay. You said it so confidently.
As I know.
As if you know.
I told you I don't know.
Okay. Hajar, can you explain to us what bullying means, but without using Arabic? What is bullying? And how is it done? What do you think? Or have you even heard of the word bullying? Or is it new for you too, Hajar? Have you heard of the word bullying before? Or is it also new to you? I think Hajar fell asleep. Okay, so bullying is like...
Maybe I know it.
Yeah, what do you think it is? Maybe you can guess.
It means when you somebody have a better adjective and you laugh about him, about his character or his personality or his you don't like this adjective of him.
You mean characteristic? His characteristic, something.
Yeah, you don't like something on him, and you love at him, at his personality or at his adjective.
Correct.
And you told him about this, and it's a bad adjective.
But not adjective. You should say, because adjective we can only use it in grammar. The word you're using, اللي هي characteristic, صفة.
No, I think it's bad thing, not adjective. Yes.
لا ندوي لك أنت تستعملي في كلمة صفة. أنت بتقولي صفة عندها صفة معينة، لكن كلمة adjective يعني كصفة في المضمون النحوي فقط. ما نقدرش نستعملها كصفة كخصلة شخصية. عرفتي؟
Yeah.
So we can say characteristic, but we can't say adjective. You're right. You're absolutely right. So bullying, it means when someone, it's making fun of other people for something they say or something they have or something they do. So for example, if someone is a bit fat, maybe the kids at school make fun of him. Oh, fatty. Oh, football. Oh, sumo. You know, they make fun of him. That's the idea. Hajar? Also?
It's a trendy word.
What is bullying?
Yeah.
Now it's trendy.
It's a very common. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
trendy, like trendy word. Yeah.
Correct. It is now.
Because maybe in last year we didn't use it. Maybe we use it. We start to use it in 2020. Just in 2020, we use it a lot, so it's becoming
And
trendy.
that's good thing. I think that's good to know this.
That this
This
happens
thing.
to kids in schools.
Yes, yes, because it is common things now. The people try to correct things.
Yeah, you mean there's more awareness. Try to solve it. Try to stop it.
Yes, I think that's good thing. Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. But Sana, do you know what it means in Arabic?
Yeah.
What does it
in
mean in
Arabic?
Arabic?
Yes. تنمر.
Yes. And هي حتى كلمة تنمر في حد ذاتها أنا ما عرفتهاش من كل السنة اللي فاتت ولا اللي قبلها. ما كانتش موجودة.
Even me والله.
We didn't use it in Arabic.
Yes.
الترجمة هذه ما كانتش موجودة ما كانتش موجودة كلمة تنمر أصلا. كان جو طبيعي هذا كنا نتنمر على بعض هذا الطبيعي الأبو يتنمر على الولد الولد يتنمر على أخته الأخت تتنمر على رجلها الراجل يتنمر على مرته بعدين and so on, you know. It's this is normal part of Libyan culture, but now we have a name for it, which is funny.
Yes.
But I agree with Malak that it's good that people know what it is and know that this is a problem, because kids when they grow up messed up and they have problems and anger and frustration, and maybe they kill people when they grow older. They join militias. They steal things because they were abused as children. They were bullied. They were made fun of. Do you get the idea? So
especially for kids, I think that's good to know. It's bad thing for them, for their feeling. You have to care about their feelings.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Hajar, you were about to say something. Okay, so now we know all the words, and we also have to be addicted to. I think it's clear what it means to be addicted to something. Like to be addicted to social media, it means you can't stop using it, and so on. So now let's read this article. Let's find out a little more about it. So it's called The Lonely Generation. And if you see this cartoon, sorry, I'd love to come out, but I'm busy updating my Facebook status. Okay. So just read this. And so read the first two paragraphs, and when you finish, we can move to the other paragraphs, okay? So you can start from here, these days. Have you finished the first two paragraphs? Should I move? Or
No.
First one, yes.
I finished one program, yes.
Okay.
One paragraph.
Yeah. let's see.
I
Malak, have you,
don't finish because because the electricity is cut
are you sure?
and I lose the connection.
Are you
Now it's good.
100% sure? No?
No, the
Just
electricity
joking.
is cut and then back. Yes.
Yeah, okay, take your time. I'm just joking.
I finish the paragraph at the first.
Okay, that's great. So let's move here. So this way you can see the rest. Okay, can I move a little bit down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is all of it.
I finished.
All right. Sana, Hajar, also, have you finished?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Yes.
Okay, so let's check the questions. What do you think of the article? Very interesting, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And keep in mind all of these numbers and all of this information. This is 8 years ago. So
Yeah.
this is before 2013. Imagine. So imagine how much these things, the numbers, how much they increased now in 2021.
Yeah.
But
Yes, increased a lot.
yeah, I think any number here is probably double by now. So
Yes.
Yeah.
okay.
Very dangerous.
It is, yeah. I think it's worrying. It's a bit worrying. Okay, so the first question it says here, why doesn't Robin Dunbar think we can have 1,000 friends? What's the reason? Why can't we have 1,000 friends? Why? Why can't we have 1,000 friends?
Because maybe in the real life we can't have 1,000 friends.
True. But what did she say about this exactly? She mentioned something.
Yeah, the Burger King deal with the people who can delete 10 friends, maybe. That's why.
But even before that,
Yeah.
in the beginning of the paragraph, what did she say exactly?
A person's brain can deal with 150.
That's it.
Yeah.
That people on average, a normal brain can usually deal with 150. Here we don't mean general relationships, but this means like active social relationships, so close relationships, colleagues, cousins, uncles, friends, all of it together. So more than this, and it's a bit too difficult to handle it. This is the reason why you can't have 1,000 friends. Even if your Facebook has 5,000, you won't really be in contact with all of them. I think this is the point they're trying to make.
Yeah.
They're just on the list, but there's.
Yes.
I mean, if you think of it, think of your Facebook friends, especially if you have more than 200. Okay, if any of you have more than 200, just think how little you talk with some of them. Some of them are just there on the list, and there are many times I just want to remove them, but I can't find the reason why, because there's no relationship. Maybe I met this person once, I added him, and then nothing happened after that. He's just on the list, occupying a place, doing nothing. And even if you try, sending them a message, most of the time they don't even answer back. But they're still on your friend list. So it's a bit strange. Okay, second question. Why does the writer think some people collect friends?
Maybe he thinks they feel lonely. I don't know.
Good point. Maybe some people collect friends because they feel lonely.
And maybe the online friends is easy to.
True. Correct. Because making online friends is, it's easier than making real friends.
Yes.
So that's correct. That's another reason why many people just want to get at.
Just send there is a required
request.
Request a friends and you do confirm.
That's it. True. Yeah. So so many people just want to add friends. It's easy. It's easy to add friends online, not like in real life. So how did people get a free burger from Burger King?
By when you have a friends,
delete 10 friends from there.
Yes, 10 friends from your list.
I hope they changed the word friend to any other word, because the word friends means a lot. but making
True.
friends on a social media it doesn't mean friends, real friends.
Yes, I think not even in social media. I think here in Libya, even in general, the way we use friend, we use it too liberally. Anybody who studied with you is called a friend, even though they're not really friends. I know many people who
Yeah.
studied with me for many years. They're not really friends. I just know them, but I don't have a close relationship with them. And many of them, I don't really even like them that much. But you know, in society, people call these friends. You know, I don't think that's true. I don't think they're friends. In English, they have another word. They call it acquaintance. I think this is a good word.
Yeah.
You know, acquaintance is just someone you know, someone you're acquainted to. Acquaintance. يعني زي ما نقول احنا معرفة خلاص شخص تعرفيه. That's all. Not a real friend. Not close. You know, just an acquaintance. But I don't think
even in my phone when I was in the courses before English courses, I have named I have phone of a lots of my colleagues. When I was study together, I call each other, but now there is no any communicated with this colleague.
Yeah, and this is normal, I think, you know, because there wasn't a real close relationship from the beginning. You just had maybe there was the course that got you together, but other than that, there isn't much connection. And I think the same is for university, for school, for anything. If the people don't have a real relationship that's not related to place, it's not related to situation, it's a real friendship. If they don't have that, then the friendship is just temporary, you know, maybe just because you go to the same school, you take the same course, you go to the same cafe, so you see the people all the time, but there isn't, I don't think there's a very close relationship. Okay, so now the fourth question, it says, what does the British Children's Charity say about loneliness and online bullying?
Yeah, it's a shocked numbers. It's a shock. Shocked me a lot.
It's a shocking number. You're right. Yeah.
500%.
500%. It's
it's a 500%.
Almost all of them.
Yeah. So imagine, and like I said, imagine this is 8 years ago. So imagine the situation now. And actually now I think I read the last statistic, suicide I think is the third or fourth leading killer in the West in some countries.
Yeah.
So for example, you have heart disease, you have maybe cancer, and you have maybe number 3, and after that suicide, because so many people are killing themselves. And you know, there are so many reasons: loneliness, social anxiety. You know.
Also because their social life it's less than they are not connected with each other as in our culture. It's a little bit different. It's that's why maybe the number is increasing nowadays. Also our cultures, they have increasing in the feeling lonely, but it's not like them, because we have our brothers and sisters, because they haven't brothers, maybe just only one brother or one sister, that's it. Also cousins, relations with cousins, with neighbors. Maybe that's why but it's cultural behavior. Also the social network that's nowadays. Because in our culture
maybe different now. Maybe because they have a lot of activities. If in Libya, yes, that's big problem. But I think in British country, I think they have a lot of activities and a lot of expertise and a lots of professional people
Yeah,
to help them.
but
Yeah.
But
yeah,
still
but
the
also they
numbers,
feeling
yeah,
lonely.
they're
Yeah,
feeling lonely.
the numbers it's
High numbers, yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
they didn't see Libya. They didn't
No,
study
no,
anything in Libya.
I know that, but
big.
you know, they are feeling lonely more than us.
Yes.
Because here we have a religion, so we connect with each
Yes,
other. We have a culture. We live in the same house with our brothers, so our families. So they
Yeah, yeah.
didn't do that. So
Yes, because they live separate.
They live
Not
separately.
with the
Yeah,
yes, not
there's
with
more emphasis on individuality and independence in the West.
but
But I don't know. I think because they don't have a chance there, because in my opinion, I think it's more than what Hajar mentioned, which is actually what she said is mostly true. But I think there, because you've got the law, and in the law you don't get a chance to do whatever you want. So you can't express yourself. You can't if there's a red light, you can't just do it. You can't shout, Libya Hurra, for example. You can't do something like that there, because if you do anything like that, you have to pay thousands of dollars fines, and you'll probably spend the night in prison. Do you get the idea? So it's like an animal cage in the West. It's difficult. You can't break the law. ما عندهمش متنفس ما يقدروش يفشوا غلهم. Here we have wars. Every year we have a war.
But
we can express our animal side, our violence. Do you get the idea? In the West, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And also, just like Hajar said,
even in price.
Yeah, the prices here, everything is cheap. Even if you don't work, there will be always someone to feed you. Even if you have a fight with your mother and father, your aunt will make you lunch. Your grandmother will make you breakfast and dinner. Do you get the idea? So there's always this social kind of support. There's a backup plan. Someone can take care of you. Even if you're a loser, you don't work, you don't have a job, you don't have money, you will not go hungry. You will not stay on the street. Do you get the idea? So we're kind of safe. We don't have those worries. In the West, no. In the West, if you're a loser, if you don't work, if you're not serious in life, the company will fire you. They'll bring someone else.
Even your mom.
Your mom will fire you, will kick you out. If you reach the age of 18, 20 and you're not doing anything, you're not paying rent, you're not contributing to the home, you're not taking responsibilities around the house, you're just staying, they'll tell you, when habibi, pay rent, do something, or go live somewhere else. So I think there are many reasons. But I don't know if our situation is necessarily better, because I think even with all this loneliness and even with all their problems, their system, I think, still is able to produce new things. They're able to build new technologies, discover things, fix some of their problems. At least they know their problems. Do you get the idea? They're aware that they have a big problem. In the West, I think, they know that they have a lot of depression. They have a lot of problems with drugs, alcohol relationships. They know this. I think here in our region, we're not very aware of our problems, or we don't like to talk about them. We act like, nothing's
here,
wrong, أمور طيبة, في شيء.
No, not أمور طيبة. A lot of teenager now kills themselves.
True.
I know.
Yeah.
I know some people kill themselves. Yes.
Yeah, it's starting to happen, because we've got problems and nobody wants to talk about them. Nobody wants to to solve them.
Because of shame of the name of the family, and that's the problem.
Yeah, we still have problems.
I know one always he lives with her mother and father and brother, and the difference between him and his brother, one of them only sit in the front of that computer and don't go out at all. And the other brother, yeah, go out every day. Maybe most of time go
outside,
out,
yeah.
not stay at home. His mother always said, because he just stay with the computer, I feel it's safe and I don't afraid from this.
What will happen?
Will happen. It's not. It's credible, I think, because they kill himself in the Ramadan.
Ooh. And this was the brother that stayed at home on the computer all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other, it's okay, and always go out, and
yeah,
this is the problem. Maybe,
exactly.
Yeah, because his mother always said this is because in the front of me, and he don't do anything. But he didn't see what he see in the computer, and what he did, and what he watch.
Yeah, but because you know what the problem is, I think most Libyan parents, they don't really care very much about what happens with them. I mean, we don't have discussions with our parents. We never talk with our parents, you know, and the relationship that I'm talking, the typical relationship with parents, with Libyan parents is do, don't, you know, this is okay, not okay.
Very formal.
It's too close. It's not an honest relationship, I think. And I'm sure this boy, he was probably having problems. He was depressed, angry, anxious. You know, who knows what he has. But the reason...
don't know. Maybe there is another reason. Because if you know, I don't know how to call it in English, but عابدة الشياطين.
Yeah.
Yes.
Devil worship.
Yes. Even this, I think it's dangerous, and should the parents care about children, about these
things.
group or
these groups,
especially in the computer. I think it's famous and common, I think.
You might be right, but I think the problem is just being Libyan is dangerous for you, to yourself and to others. Just being Libyan, you don't have to be a devil worshipper. من غير حتى عبادة شياطين، احنا شياطين اصلا. We're difficult people, I think. We're not easy people. We're aggressive. We get angry easily. بالنا مش واسع. عندنا هلبة طباع خطيرة الليبيين. احنا مش يعني مقارنة مثلا if you compare us to our neighbors, okay? Compare us to Tunisians. I don't want to compare Libyans to the Swiss or to the Italians. I want to compare them.
More difficult.
Tunisians are difficult, but they have a law. You can't do anything you want. Do you get the idea? The same thing with Morocco and Algeria. They're also difficult. They're not easy people, but at the same time, they don't get a lot of space because they have stronger governments. But in Egypt, people are usually, they're more easygoing. They have problems. I'm not saying Egypt doesn't have problems, but I'm talking about the personality of the average Libyan person. There's nothing that can protect you from another Libyan person. Do you get the idea? If they don't like you, or if they hate you, or if they're angry, there isn't a lot to protect you. I don't know if you get my point. And if you see the last 10 years, all the wars and all the killing, I mean, who did this? We did this. It wasn't someone from outside, right? It was, Libyans and Libyans and Libyans.
Yes, fighting on the share about share.
Yeah, we're not easy. But I completely agree with your point, Sana. Who knows what this boy was watching? Who knows the groups he was following? Who knows the activities he was doing? Because his parents probably ignored this.
And always his mother told it's okay, it's safe, it's just in the front of me, and he didn't do anything, just to stay with his computer, and it's okay. But the problem with this son,
Yeah, human beings are complicated creatures. We need care. We need.
For me, when I see like people like this, just with these people don't have friends and just stay with the computer, and this is a big question mark for this person. Should follow this person. For me. But if I see person go out and has friends, and I know his friends, and I follow him in the school and see what he do in the school.
Sana,
Okay.
I have a son. He's about 16 years old, and he doesn't doing anything, just sitting in front of computer, and he doesn't have friends, just playing on computer. I have a big problem, but because our society maybe we don't have activities here. We don't have friends near beside him, and the circumstances about this city is very difficult. There is a lot of criminal things happen here. I think we have a bad
environment for
yes.
young people.
Yes, I don't have I can't do anything for him.
But what about the friends in the school?
Yes, in school he has a lot of friends, but his friends like him. They can't go outside and they can't do anything.
Even there
Their
is
families
no any club.
fear
There is
about
no.
him, about them.
But
There
just
is even there is
just
no
keep
any club to
communicate.
join and to play maybe football. There is
There isn't
no any club in
anything.
the Sabha.
We have a neighbor here. They are bad. All of things here for bad boys, bad families, bad. There isn't anything for him. Yes,
Yeah.
we try to do a lot of him, but we find
Yeah.
a lot of bad
Just
things.
keep communicate with him. That's it. And
Yes.
pray to him.
Yeah,
Yes,
as long as there's
that's
communication, I think that's
yeah. It's
and
very
try,
important to him.
yes, and try to come here and spend maybe
I hope that yes.
one
At
week
the
or
best,
2 weeks here
at
in
the best,
Tripoli.
he spent his summer in Tripoli with his grandfather there. But now the study is not clear. There isn't. We don't know about anything about study now. There isn't summer now.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, it's very hard. It's a very hard time. Yeah, because if you compare, the last few years, compare them to 2005, 6, 7. Before the latest revolution, I think there are lots of changes in culture. So so it's difficult for young people. Very difficult. Let's hope things happen, things change, good things happen, and I think parents have a big responsibility in this age.
Yeah, it's difficult to grow up the children. I think.
Yeah, it's very difficult to raise children. At this time. Okay, let's check our last two questions. So number 5 here, it says, what do some young people find difficult to cope with? So in this article, they talked about something which kids have a big difficulty to cope with. What was it?
To copy with the people, I think, yes.
But what does it mean, cope with, when we say to cope
deal with?
Yes, correct.
Deal
to deal
with.
with. Deal with. Yeah. So what's the thing that's hard for young people to deal with in this article? Something hard for them to deal with. And you can see it here in the middle paragraph.
Here, from to be offline, I think.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
to disconnect us from their
About
network.
disconnecting from
Exactly.
their network.
Yeah, so if you come to our young people today and you shut off the internet, I think they'll go crazy.
Maybe we will kill you.
Yeah, maybe they'll kill you and then kill each other and then kill themselves. Yeah, because now internet is like oxygen. If you cut the internet, you know, they'll go mad. So, okay. Last question, it says, why do professional people use sites like LinkedIn? So how can we use LinkedIn? For what?
For work.
For work. That's correct. LinkedIn is good to make work contacts, to connect with other people in the same field.
To have a good opportunity.
That's correct. Yeah, to get good opportunities, to get new jobs. So it's useful for someone looking for a job. It's useful. Okay, so these are some questions and some interesting points. In our next lesson, we'll check what's left of this. Lesson, and we're going to focus on vocab. We're going to learn a few rules regarding using a, an, the, and no article. From the reading itself, we will see some examples. When should we use a and an? When should we use the? And in which situations we shouldn't use anything. So we'll talk about this in detail. Do a little bit of listening. So we have a nice listening exercise here about social media, a little bit of pronunciation, how we can use the schwa sound in weak forms. So we'll talk about this. And if we're lucky, we can get to our next point, our next lesson. All right. So thank you for your time. That's all for tonight. And I'll see you again next lesson.
Thank you. Good night.
You're welcome. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.